Hey FB or YT, this is 55 Jamaica, and I'm making this video because somebody asked me why I won't have a child at my age, and what age do I plan to have a child, and oh, that age is too old or whatever. So I decided that I'm gonna make a video in response, even though this was just a conversation we had. So I'm sure it's no surprise that everyone knows, no surprise that single parents, single mothers specifically, struggle a lot. And I'm not saying that if I have a child I would be a single mother, but I have to take that into consideration that I might, and not to say that he might leave, he might die, anything. So I have to be open-minded to that. And it's a lot of single mothers that struggle, and that's, not a surprising fact. So, people like statistics, so I went to Google some quick statistics. So blackdemographics.com lets you know that in the African American population, that single parents are almost the same thing as both parents. So single parents is 30%, and then single mothers is 30%, and then with both parents is 28%. And to me, that's like, wow. Like, even though they're pretty much the same, so the mother is basically playing the same roles, and I feel that the father figure needs to be in there. Not should, but needs to be. You need that father figure, because if some women, if they don't have that father figure, they'll go looking for that male love in other ways, which is how they get into abusive relationships and stuff like that, but that's for another time. So you need that father figure. You need, when you're a little girl, for your father to tell you how beautiful you are, how pretty you are, how you don't need another man to make you feel beautiful, how strong you are, how independent you are. Not to say that the male figure not to say that, a mother can't tell her child that, but it doesn't come off the same way. Like, there's just some stuff that you need your father to be there to teach you as a female. And if he's not there, you as a female will go look for it in other ways. And I'm not saying this for all females. I'm just making a generalization that, this can happen. And, you don't want that. You don't want that you're looking for love or looking for attention in another way from another male because your father's not there. And so she asked me what age, and I said when I'm established. She was like, so does that mean after 30? I was like, if I'm not established, then no. And she's like, well, that's too old. I want to be like 24, 25. And I was like, that's too young. I was like, you're still trying to figure out yourself. You still want to experience life. You still want to go out to the club. You're still in that you stage. It's still about you. You still want to go out, you know what I mean? And for you to say that at 24, you think... So me and my friend was like, okay, so let's say you graduate college, you're around 21, 22. That gives you about 2 years to find the perfect person, date them, marry them, and then have a child. Like, that's cutting it too close. And I was like, so first of all, you need to be established in your career, because your job is not going to hire you to know that you about to leave in a year because you pregnant. Like, that's a liability in their eyes. Like, they want to know that you've been with them for a long time, you're dependable, and okay, you taking your paternity leave. Like, that's cool. But for you to just maternity leave, but for you to just be like, oh, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's another thing that people rush and people settle, like, oh, I need to be married and have had kids by 30. So you feel like the age of 30 is coming up real soon. So here you are trying to find this person just so you can be like, yes, I got married before I was 30, but are you happy though? Are you happy? And that's, for me, that's how I want to be. I want to be happy. I want to be established with another male who is at my level, above or a little beneath. It doesn't matter, as long as he loves me, and we together will take care of that child, because you need that father figure. And I'm not trying to just be married, just have a child to have a child. Like, to me, that's not cute. And I feel that some people are, and I'm not saying her or anybody specifically, but some people are in that mindset, like, I need to have a child at a young age, and they feel because if they're too old that they won't be able to relate to their child, or that their child will run tricks on them. And I want to say that that's the opposite, because if you're old, then you've experienced everything. They can't run any tricks on you. You could be like, I've been there, did that. Are you serious? Are you really trying to pull that? You know how many years ago I did that? Like, sit your butt down. And the problem is, you shouldn't want to relate to your child. Yes, you do want to have a close relationship with your child, but you don't want to relate to your child. You're a mother, not their best friend, okay? If you want to have a close relationship, that's cool. Yes, they should feel comfortable to come to you, to talk to you about anything. But as to relating to your child, if you're not, if your age range isn't too close, you can't relate. No, that's not how you should be thinking, because you're a mother, not their best friend, their mother. And if you are trying to play both of those roles, that could be confusing to the child, and you could also confuse yourself. At what point do you separate yourself from being a mother and being their best friend? Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, because I consider my mom a very, very close friend, and I feel I could come to her and tell her anything. But for me to say that, that I can't separate the two, then that to me is when there's a problem. Also, like I said, if you want to have a child at a young age, you trying to go out and do you trying to find a babysitter. And I feel that people depend too much on their mother or best friend or whatever. This is your child. This is your responsibility. Of course, they're going to be open to help, but don't think that, I have a child, so my grandma could take care of her and we could go out and hit the club. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. And also, people depend on the government. And my friend, he said this real quick, that there's a lot of single parents out here who don't think they need a male or father figure because they could depend on WIC or child support. And that institution is taking place of the father figure financially, but is not taking place of the father figure spiritually, emotionally. And I was like, that is so true, because females like, I don't need a man because I can do this and I can do that. But you really do need that male father figure. And then somebody else asked me, like, would you date somebody with a child? And I have male friends with kids, no disrespect, but for me, I know in my mind that the baby mom will always be first. Even after we get married, she's always going to be first, because they had a child. That's his responsibility, and you just can't ignore or neglect that. Like, she's always going to come first. And I'm not saying that she's going to try to separate us or use us, even though there are some women who will be like that, but she will always come first. And if you can't respect that and you can't understand that, then you just can't date them. And of course, babies are expensive. Like, are you serious? Like, you want to have a child at 24? Are you really establishing your career? Do you have enough money saved to take care of their child? If something happens, if your child needs to be in the hospital, diapers, clothes, stuff is expensive. Babies grow like that exponentially. So something that they could fit at 3 months, and 3 months later when they're 6 months, no, they can't fit that. So for me, it's just like, are you serious? And for me, I know a lot of single parents. My mom is one, for example, and some of my friends are. And they are the best moms. They care for their child. They love their child. But you can't deny that it's not hard. And this is not to bash any type of single parent or anything. I'm just saying that for me, if I want to have a child now, like, this, in my mind, is not the right time frame. I want to be established. I want to have a good career that I've been there for a long time, a partner that's really going to help me. I want the child to be in a good, healthy environment. I want to have extra money in case something happens, extra money for my child to go out and experience life. You know what I mean? Because if you're young, you don't got no money, you can't do nothing. You just up in the house chilling. Not to say you can't have fun with free stuff. It is possible. But there's certain experiences that your child won't be able to live because of limitations. So for me, that's some of my reasons why I won't have a child. Feel free to comment, like, whatever. This is 55 Jamaica. Deuces.